on one date with them and that date was terrible and they're clearly disconnected from reality. So
Yeah, like, I mean, think about yourself before you start thinking about others. And then if, yeah, I mean, I like what you said about I will allow myself to just ghost this person.
yeah.
It's that thing of, yeah, just allow yourself to just put your needs first every so often. And if you get ghosted, it's just, if you get ghosted after, I'd say 3 dates is the threshold. If after the third date you get ghosted without anything, then yeah, I would say that's wrong. No, you don't have to be in a relationship after 3 dates, but then just listen, I don't see this going anywhere, is appreciated. But if it's just after one date, you need to get over it. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, and in general, if someone ghosts you, they're not worth any of your emotions or time. And I know this is
exactly.
easier said than done, but at the end of the day, if they're not willing to put in the effort, that neither should you, and you shouldn't waste any of your energy on them. And
100%.
I know that it's sorry.
100%.
Yeah, and I know it's a shitty thing to do. It's not nice to ghost someone, but if it's already done, it's already happened. So what's the point on dwelling on it? Just move on and go do your thing.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
and I say this as someone who's ghosted and been ghosted. I think we're all
Have I
guilty of
ever
it.
ghosted? And I think, thinking about, I've been ghosted. Um,
Yeah.
have I ever ghosted? Um, I think there's something about perception as well of, I mean, what is ghosting? We're not going to get philosophical. Well, we might, but what is ghosting? It's, because did this guy write to you several times after, like, did he write to you often? Did you just go from talking a lot to not talking at all? Because for me, ghosting is when you're expecting, like, there's a reasonable expectation of a conversation or a
Mm-hmm.
response or something of just like, you were meant to show up for something, and or you're expecting an answer because up till now there was an exchange and then not anymore, like that. It's this strong thing of like something was building and then you just disappear. For me, that's ghosting. And so I definitely haven't done something as extreme of that. Maybe kind of in betweens of just kind of being less responsive and things like that. Yeah, definitely. And then being ghosted. Yeah, one guy where we had been on several dates and I thought it was going well and we were like messaging a lot and then he just stopped. I was like, that it was it was just so strange of just why would you, because I've probably been on, I don't know, 100 dates, not exaggerating. Like I've been on many first dates of many, many, many. So it's bound to happen. But yeah, so ghosting. So now with this kind of definition, I don't even think that what you did is ghosted. It's just you didn't respond to one or two messages
Yeah.
after low kind of energy. It
Yeah.
reminds me. You were gonna say before I kind of interrupted you. I'll say my thing after.
Yeah, it's okay. I was gonna say that I agree with your definition of ghosting, and it really is dependent on the situation. I don't think I've ever ghosted someone that I've known for a while, that we've been on a few dates. It's only ever been like when it was just in the beginning or when the person was being on the verge of creepy and
Yeah,
like this disturbing. So, sometimes there's good reasons to do it, but in general, if you already established something with someone and you already have this connection, you've been on a few dates and you're starting to develop a relationship, and then suddenly one bright day you disappear, that's ghosting.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And so then it kind of becomes a bit justified about why people get for that type of thing, I agree with your definition of when you're saying like if somebody goes to you, they're not worth your energy. But when you've got a bit more invested, then it's more understandable. But yeah, but don't get invested after just one date. It's, I saw this. I was it TikTok or whatever, I can't remember. Well, a YouTube short or whatever, where this girl had been on a date with a guy, and she messaged all her friends and she said, beyond the shadow of a doubt, this guy is the love of my life and I love him so much. And well, not I love him so much, like this guy, I'm going to marry him, he's the one, blah blah blah, like, I just know it like deep inside my bones after one date. And so what she had done is that she had gone on Facebook and Instagram and blocked the usernames of her first name and his last name, so that when they got married, she could use them. And so, and
oh my god!
And because internet works the way that it does, when you're connecting your accounts to your phone or whatever, like it pushes your account.
Yeah.
Anyway, for some reason it showed up on various people's like suggested pages, and so he saw this and he just disappeared and didn't write to her
I can
ever
imagine
again.
why.
So
Which just
all
goes
this
to
just don't get invested.
Yeah, don't get invested. And it just goes to show that, again, what I always say is also look at your own actions. I find it very frustrating when people just always try to blame everyone else but themselves. I don't care if the other person's at fault, you are still the common denominator, which doesn't mean you're automatically to blame or at fault, or that you did something wrong, or that there's something wrong with you. It just means that you have to look at yourself and what you did wrong, well, what you did, what you can do better for next time, how you can change things. And yeah, if it's not to declare to the world after one date that this person's going to be your husband.
Yeah.
So I hope that makes sense.
It did make sense. I this one client that had this, like, he had been in his whole life maybe on 3 or 4 first dates and had never been in a relationship, and it was just, he was 28, and so early awkward stage. And so he went on this first date, and I was like, whatever you do is just do not get your hopes up. Don't think it's going to go wrong, but don't think that it's going to go right. Just treat it like, you're going to go for a drink with a friend, and that's that. And we did it. And so we did it for the first date, for the second date, and the third date. I was like, okay, you're doing well. Like, you just have fun now. And now he's off his like 6-month course and he's in a relationship. But I was like, first 2 dates is just like, you're there to test the waters. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get overexcited. And yeah, it's being very careful.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that ruined a lot of relationships by just jumping the gun and going too much in all the way. Like, first of all, I'm not a believer in restricting yourself and saying, don't say this, don't say that, don't do this, don't do that. But you do have to caution yourself. Like, you have to be cautious. There's no need to come out on the first date and spill your guts out right away, or go all in right away, or reveal all the parts of you right away. And no matter how much you're desperate for a relationship, which is one of the main reasons why we usually do this, because we just want, so
Yeah.
No matter how much we want it and how much we're excited about it, we need to remain like composed and take it one step at a time. And that's how you develop a much healthier relationship and a much more stable relationship.
Yeah, I agree. It's, as we were talking, I'm kind of reflecting on my first date with JT, and then just other first dates and how they went well and how they didn't go so well, and the ones that I'm disappointed didn't go. I mean, obviously I'm happy that none of those dates went well because I'm in a relationship with JT now, but just the regrets and things like that. But I've got a better story, which is pre first date, which I'm just, so this guy, I've known him for, but not known him as in friendly, but just like we met when we were at university in 2010, a long time ago. And so we were never friendly or friends. It's just, Facebook friends. And then a few years later, so let's say 2014, 15, we realized that we're both in the same city because of Facebook and both single. And we tried to go on we tried to connect, but I end up telling him the only reason I'm trying to connect with you is because I'm trying to make this other guy jealous. Yeah. In like, forgive me, 20, I was young, yeah.
We've all done that at one point or another.
I said, I don't think that's fair to you, so I would rather just, cut it off here. So, I mean, pretty good, yeah, pretty good. And he said, yeah, that's fine.
Premature.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll, maybe another time. And then fast forward 2020, where we realized that we are both in the same city as well, which is, so this is the third city that we've, been in together, where we went to university, the current city I live in now, and then where we were both locked down in another place. He was working in that city and I was with my parents. And we end up talking, and so I tell him that I'm single, and we talk, and he's like, oh, maybe we can meet up. And I said, oh, I don't know about, lockdown and restrictions and things like that. And we were talking about how to make it happen. And then I say, I'm sorry, I get the feeling that that you're only looking for sex. And he says, well, maybe kind of. And I say, that's fine, no judgment. It's just I'm not looking for just sex, and I'm not really interested in that type of relationship, and I'm not gonna impede on my lockdown and sanitary risks for just a one-nighter. I hope you understand. And he was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, if that's not enough red kind of mishaps, fast forward again to 2022. So this time last year, actually, this time, like mid-December 2022, we message again, and we talk again, and he's like, so where you at? And this was like a couple of weeks before I met JT, like a month before I met JT. I tell him, well, I'm single. And he's like, oh, funny, for love coach is single, blah blah blah. I was like, well, what, doctors make the worst patients and all these stuff. And he say, okay, are we gonna try going on this infamous date again? And I say, yeah, okay, let's try. I was thinking, if it's just sex, then I'll just have sex. I just wanted to, I don't know, that's what I was feeling at that point. And he was saying, I'm looking for something serious, but I'm also not. He had the type of talk of, I'm looking for something serious, but if it's something lighthearted, it's fine. And it was the type of thing that I tell all of my clients to not say if they're looking for a relationship. It's just like, you need to own that you're looking for a relationship, or that you're not looking for a relationship. Like, you just need to own it and be honest. Mm-hmm. And he had the bad chat, that there was, like, it was just terrible. But I thought, I just want to change. I just want to spend some time with somebody else. I wasn't feeling too good about myself at that point. I was just like, I'm just gonna, spend some time with him. And so we fix a date. I can't remember what the day was. We take each other something, just after New Year's or whatever, or before, I can't remember. Anyway, and we talk like non-stop for a week, and it's going well, and blah blah blah. And then, and we say, let's fix, let's say it's 3rd of January, we'll go on a date. Okay, great. And everything kind of dies down in the talk. Like, he'll react to some stories, but not react so much. And I was just like, okay, that's weird, but I'm just going to let it, leave it hanging. And the day that we were supposed to go on a date, he messages me just out of the blue of just, hi, how's it going? And I talked to him and was like, we'll just see how where this goes. And after like an hour of back and forth, I go, do you realize that we were supposed to go on a date tonight? Like, he's like, oh yeah, but it was never really set in stone, and